Hello, everybody, and welcome on into Prop Culture NFL Player Props for Week 6 of the NFL football season. I'm Thomas Viola. He is the best stock photo living room guy in the business, and he's pretty dang good at the prop markets, too. It's Derek Carty, and Brooke KGB is already in here saying it is Carty o'clock. Frankie DeLuca, he is excited to keep the heater going. Hey, last night was great to me. Derek, how about you with Thursday Night Football?
Yeah, I had a great night last night. Theo Johnson under, Saquon under, Tyrone Tracy receptions under. Was set at 2.5 for some reason. He didn't even get a target. That was nice. So yeah, good night last night, and hopefully a good week coming up.
Yeah, I am very excited. It was a great night for me. I mean, shocker, I was on a lot of the similar. I also had Jackson Dart first touchdown, which was a nice little hit to add to the portfolio. But I see everybody starting to file in here already. A lot of familiar faces. We got What's the Mata. We got Ethan Alpern saying, hey, guys. And, to get us started here, it was a little bit of a down week for the show last week. Our record on the show ended up being, looks like, as I try and go and pull up the numbers, not great on the show. We ended up going 3-7 for minus 4.6 units. We're 30-30 on the season so far in show plays, 4.1 units to the good, 6.4% ROI. But hey, we're going to have down weeks. We're going to have dips. I can tell you from everything that I was betting, and I know that Boglor will be in. I'm sure we'll be seeing him in just a minute here, but I know that he will be coming in and telling us he had a good week, because I had a good week with everything else that I had going on in the numbers that I was taking. Russian says, what's up, guys? Can't wait for those Geno props. We have some Geno props coming at you, my man. And there he is, Boglor. Boglor, hope you had a good one, man. I mean, even if Boglor swept the board, I don't know if he's having a better week than Chad Martin is here, because his Blue Jays are looking mighty fine right now.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, that is going well, Chad. We wish you all the best. I mean, I support one team, and that is anybody who beats the Dodgers. So let's go. I would be perfectly happy as long as Canada's not winning a Stanley Cup. I'll let them win an MLB championship any day of the week. And Russian is here saying, Bog, how many props you bet already? Over, under 69. And Bog is like, we're taking the over on that one. All right, guys. Oh, Cheeseburger Eddie saying we got Flacco props to go with those Geno props. You know that we do. It is a packed. Yeah, we have a packed slate coming in this week. This is the most that we've ever had on the slate, because I had to do 3 pages of graphics for our best bets here. We got a lot to get to, and we're also going to be answering all of your questions in the chat as well. Let's get to it, Derek. I think that we need to get going, because we're going to have a lot to get to here. It is a packed slate. Let's start off. We're going to be talking about Pat Freiermuth, and we're actually going to be talking about both Steelers tight ends here. This is one that I was looking at when I was making my bets, and I was a little worried, and then I realized this tight end situation in Pittsburgh has really, really changed over the last couple weeks here.
It has, yeah. I think last week we actually... either last week or the week before, we had the Freiermuth over, and that did not work out because his volume went way, way down. He was only out there. Normally he's out there for like 50 to 60% of the routes, even up to 70%. He was out there for 32% last week, only 28% of the snaps. And Darnell Washington was out there for 91% of the snaps. Like, it just completely flipped. And the market seems to kind of be treating it like, well, Freiermuth is the bigger name. We kind of know he's going to be the guy who's, going to be out there more often. We're just going to treat it like he's going to regress to that. And that's probably not what's going to happen, at least not this week. So we're looking at Freiermuth under 1.5 receptions, plus 150 at ESPN is the best line. But you can see pretty widely available. There was a quote in the Coach Speak Index Discord that a beat writer asked, I think they asked Tomlin about why that happened last week. And Tomlin basically said, just to paraphrase, that when they play against 4-3 defenses, they like having Darnell Washington out there more because Freiermuth is too small. Essentially, they need somebody bigger out there. And And he's like, we're going to be playing another couple of 4-3 defenses the next couple of weeks. So we're probably going to be seeing more Darnell Washington, less Freiermuth, less Connor Hayward, because he doesn't trust them to block 4-3 defensive ends. And so this week against another 4-3 defense, I am hopefully expecting less Pat Freiermuth, more Darnell Washington. And so we're looking at the under here for Freiermuth.
Yeah, I saw the same exact article referencing those 4-3 defenses and why we were seeing that playing time. And hey, it made me take both of these bets because the second one we're looking at here, we're building in a little bit of correlation into these, but you might be able to, I don't know. I mean, if you can price it right and get a decent correlated parlay here, our second guy up is Darnell Washington, and we're looking at his over market here. I went and double dipped. I have the receptions, and I'm heavy on this Steelers tight end usage this week because I've got the receptions and the yardage overs for Darnell Washington in addition to that Freiermuth under.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin's not the most reliable guy to trust when it comes to this type of stuff, but I think it makes sense. It's certainly what we just saw, and so I'm hoping that we see it again. And if we do, then both sides of this look good. Freiermuth looks overpriced. Darnell Washington looks underpriced. So we'll take the over on Washington under 1.5 plus 150 is the best line. Hopefully our read of this tight end situation is correct.
Yeah, we will have to see what happens with it, but there's a lot going on in this Steelers-Browns game. I'll tell you, Derek, we have a lot of plays that we're going to be talking about from this game.
Yes, yeah, there are quite a few.
Yeah, and we'll be addressing some of the things that you want to look out for, like some of this correlation and stuff like that. Darnell, anytime touchdown at plus 825 is a sprinkle, maybe.
Actually, so EVAnalytics, we talked about it last week, but they added a whole bunch of anytime touchdown lines. Mm-hmm. So what were the odds he said he found it at?
825.
So 825, there's a little bit of value. It looks like if you have access to a Camby book, 1100 is out there, and that looks like very good value.
Yeah.
But yeah, a little bit of value on that.
Mm-hmm. Bogler saying he got a whole $4 down at the 365 on that. That's the way that's gonna go. All right.
That's the way it works sometimes.
Yep. Next up here, we're going to Hunter Renfrow. Man, I missed this guy when he was making plays on the Raiders, and now
we're skipping him because we were gonna take him, but then it was kind of dependent on Jalen Coker, who now is a game time decision. And so we're not doing it with the Renfrow one.
Gotcha. All right. We are skipping over Hunter Renfrow here and moving right along. Man, I'm excited for Jalen Coker to be back. I've been stashing him on my fantasy bench in the IR slot for a little while. I am a certified cokehead. I'll tell you that much. All right. We've got Rachaad White up next here. And this is another one. Bucky Irving, still hurt, still out. Rachaad White is taking over this backfield because the Buccaneers refuse to answer my letters about freeing Sean Tucker.
Yeah, doesn't seem like that's going to happen. It looks like this has moved, but I think we're still probably okay. There were some 12.5s out there before, but 13.5 looks like minus 120, minus 130 or so. The blitz is projecting almost 17 here, so there is real value. Rachaad White's going to get the bulk of the work with Bucky Irving out again. It's just too low of a number for a guy who's essentially a bell cow.
Yeah, exactly. And that's really what we're looking at here with this offense for Tampa. Like they're going to lean heavily on Rachaad White. His season is returning here. We've seen his usage be like this before. Meanwhile, here Tate saying Derek was not having it with FanDuel complainers about the Brenton Strange injury.
Yeah, there were so many people complaining about the Brenton Strange injury. And why didn't FanDuel refund us? It's like, you're not entitled to a refund because a guy gets injured. Like, I don't understand where this mentality comes from. When you're placing a bet, you have two options. You can place the over or you can place the under. If you place the under and the guy gets hurt, you win. If you place the over and the guy gets hurt, you lose. That's how it works.
Yeah. These rec books have they can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. The genie's not going back in the bottle. They've created a monster, and now we all have to deal with it, and it really, really sucks. What's the motto? Wants to know what was the Renfrow play, anyways, in case Coker is active.
No, I might throw this out later in the week once we get some Jalen Coker status. So this it's one I really like. I don't want to tank it just yet, especially without lines available.
All right. We will wait on that. We will sit on that one. So just stay tuned to @DerekCarty on Twitter for that one. And then Bogler pointed out it comes mostly from people who play DFS books and they're kinder about injury voids and just assume anyone does it. Yeah, but it's also, it creates this arms race of, well, everybody else is doing it, so we have to do it. And all of these rec books that are really concerned with the market share of these $20 better customers, not trying to unit shame here. I'm just saying let's face it, the people who are calling for these voids are not professional sports bettors.
No, they're not.
Yeah, it's like, that's what I'm trying to say here. I'm not trying to cast aspersions on unit size there, but it's the masses that are doing this, and yeah, it's just a nightmare. All right, moving on from that, we're going to Brandon Cooks, and we're going to his receptions market. We are playing a lot of under receptions markets here this week. Is that partially a weather thing, or is it more that we're just looking at a lot of guys who are lower on the depth chart and saying, look, they're not getting the targets?
It's a combination of things. There's definitely some weather stuff we'll be talking about. This is not one because it's indoors. It's going to be a fast-paced game. In general, the blitz is high on this game, but it is not especially high on Brandon Cooks. Under 1.5 catches, plus 132 is our best number now. This is really just a guy who hasn't been super involved in the offense. He's been out there, but he's really been an afterthought. The blitz, even with the setup this week, even the dome, the fast pace, the everything that it likes about this, it still likes the under on Cooks. We saw Viola playing a little bit more last week, so it's possible now that he's been on the team more, getting healthy, he could start eating into Cooks a little bit. That's part of my hope here. But yeah, the blitz likes the under. You can see it's projected right around 1.5. And so at plus money, a coin flip at plus 132 or a coin flip at plus 120 is going to be value.
Yeah. And we're going to be taking a lot of those coin flips over the course of the year. Some of them are going to go our way. Some of them aren't. But the beauty of coin flips, if you're getting a 50-50 price, if you're getting 50-50 odds at 60-40 prices, you're feeling good about that. And that is exactly one of the things that we're doing here. It's about playing these over the course of the season, and you're going to embrace a little bit of the volatility and the variance with it. The reality is we're not trying to hit every single prop that we place. We're trying to get the best price on every prop that we can place. And then you let the chips fall where they may and know that over the course of the season, that's leveling out for you.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Volume is your friend. Time is your friend when it comes to sports betting. You're not trying to win every single bet as much as Brenton Strange bettors think you can.
Exactly. I have a friend who is totally new to sports betting, totally new to all of this stuff. And he keeps sending me these just massive parlays that he's placing. And of course, everything's hitting. And I'm sitting here trying to explain to him, here's why you should take this. Here's why you should do this. And he's like, okay, but I just made all this money. I'm like, yes, you're getting incredibly lucky.
Yeah. Try to tell someone who's hitting parlays that they're getting lucky will not go well. I'll tell you that much.
It really does not, but we'll see what happens. I'm hoping to get through to him at some point here. All right. Next up here, let's see. We just did Brandon Cooks. Now we're going to Jordan Whittington. There's a lot of names on here.
We cut him too.
We already got my bad, guys. I'm out of the loop. All right. Devontae Adams is next up instead. And man, is part of this. First off, it's very annoying trying to find lines for Rams receivers right now because the entire Ravens defense is out with the plague. But is Puka Nacua absorbing so many targets and so many catches that it's also helping these odds?
It definitely is. I mean, Puka is just a monster. Their manufacturing looks for him. He's getting open. He's probably the best receiver in the league. And Devontae is great, but Devontae is drawing a lot of the attention that is letting Puka get open. Mm-hmm. This week, facing Baltimore, they have a billion injuries, and so it is theoretically like a good matchup for Rams receivers, but they're also big favorites, and there's going to become a certain point in this game where they probably don't have to throw anymore. They're just gonna be running the ball. And the main thing here too that I really like is the weather situation. This game projects to be very windy. potential right now. I've seen wind forecasts of 25 miles per hour. Also looks like it's going to be rainy. And so bad weather, bad game script. Under 4.5 plus 120 is our best line here for Devontae. And I like it.
Yeah, it's and we'll be talking a little bit more about this game. We have a couple other plays to get to in it, but we got the wind. We've hopefully got some rain, and we've got what we're hoping is a very positive game script for the Rams. Plus, man, Puka Nakua's target is his. Did you see what his receptions line is? It's at 8.5. I can't remember the last time I saw an 8.5 line for a receiver.
Almost never. I'm tempted to take the under on it. I love Puka, but I don't see how you can take an over on that, especially in this environment.
Yeah.
Like they're on the road. They're away from the dome. It's terrible weather, terrible games. It's nuts. I was very tempted to take Puka, and just on principle, I couldn't do it.
I'll tell you, I was sitting there and just like quick glance. Okay, yeah. No, none of the plays that we're talking about here later are on these guys. So I could say this. Last night, I was sitting down and I was making my bets and I was going through all the running backs for the week. And I just realized I just took the under on every single stud running back this week. I already cashed the Saquon. I've got the Bijan. I've got the Jonathan Taylor. And I'm sitting there like, oh, I'm in danger.
Gibbs. Yeah.
I've got Gibbs unders too. I've got all the running backs under this week. So we're going to see what's going to happen here. What's the best line on that 8.5? I have no idea.
Yeah, we can take a look real quick. And
yeah,
let's see. Puka. So yeah, 8.5 minus 125 is the best line, but within 5 or 10 points, just about everywhere. You can see the blitz is projecting under 7. It loves Puka Nacua. It has loved Puka Nacua since day one. If you drafted a fantasy team using the blitz, you have Puka Nacua on your team. There's almost no way you don't. But this line is insane, especially for these conditions.
It also still is insane. Like this man, he's like Antonio Brown without the insanity, but 5th round wide receiver. But that's not even really a fair comparison because Antonio Brown went late in the draft because he's a nutcase. This was just a guy, crazy story. And we're really happy to see it for him. By the way, T. Lee saying new to the show, kept up with Derek on covers. Great work, guys. Hey, thanks for being here with us. And Swish says Randy Moss must have been like a 9.5 with Cole. I mean, seriously, those lines must have been insane. If you could get player props back then, which I don't know. They definitely, I can't imagine many bookies on the street corner were like, yeah, sure, I'll book some player prop action for you.
Sure. You want to bet on Randy Moss? 9.5. I don't think it was happening in the 90s.
I mean, hopefully there was some smart bookie out there who realized someone would bet an over on 9.5 receptions for a guy.
Yeah, right.
All right. Next up here, we're going to be looking at Brashard Smith's reception market. Again, a whole lot of guys that I had to be like, who does he play for again?
Yeah, this is one that I bet last week. It didn't work out. Mm-hmm. I'm doing it again. It's actually kind of scary because he was drafted this year. He's a young guy. They've been hyping him up. They've been talking about how they want to get him more work, but he's still playing behind Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. Like he's still not getting that much work. And especially when we talk about the pass game, like let me pull up his numbers real quick.
While you're pulling those up, Garrett Price just said was under an official play. No.
Was who an official play?
Puka's under an official play.
Oh no, someone just asked us to look for it. That was not an official play, but you can take it. I mean, I'm very tempted to. But yeah, Brashard Smith only ran a route on 8.5% of the dropbacks last week. It's only been 11% this year. He's been drawing targets. His target share is actually like over 5 for the year, almost 8 over the last couple of weeks. But it just doesn't match up with his routes. And I'll take the value here. If I lose again, I lose again. But I'll take the value on this for a guy whose opportunity to get this is still pretty minimal.
Yeah, I mean,
He only had 6 snaps last week. I knew he didn't play much, but geez.
Yeah, but Bogler makes a good point here. He's got the P Ryan roll, and this might be someone that I'm looking to take the over on every week, regardless of the edge. If he keeps doing this, this is an active situation to monitor, people, because if we have another P Ryan situation, I'm going to be very, very happy. We will have to see this week, though. We're going back to the under because Dameon Pierce of us saying, all right, he shouldn't. This is what his usage should be, and this is what he should be getting based on it. We'll have to see what happens. Brashard 2 screen passes. Yeah, that's the issue. But Smith's still good at -113. Looks like that's okay. Or I might be seeing the board wrong.
Oh yeah, no, that's still okay. -113, still showing 5-star value. Again, it's one where it's like, is it really this much value? But yeah, I'm still okay there.
Yeah. The other nice thing about playing this much volume and trying to have as many of these plays as possible is you can take some shots on this where, yeah, maybe we're wrong for a few weeks and we're okay. We have to go back and adjust, but it's going to wash out more in the rain because we're taking so many other plus EV plays here. Does not have the P Ryan roll, not a pass blocker, gets a couple schemed looks. All right. Brian Sion, familiar name. I've definitely seen him around in the chat. Well worth keeping an eye on here, guys. But now let's head to our only rushing prop of the week. Very surprising, Derek. Usually we're coming in here with 2 or 3 carries props, and instead today, all we're talking about Jaylen Warren rushing yards.
Yeah, we did have Rachaad White earlier, so we have 2.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
Yep. Rushing yards, yeah. All right, so we are looking at Jaylen Warren rushing yards. Over 42.5 -111 is our best line. But you can see even the 44s, the 45s, the 46s, they're all still showing good value. Once you start getting up to around 50, maybe not as much, but definitely at the lines that are available now. Jaylen Warren, the blitz is really high on at this point. He's just been getting so much work for Pittsburgh. It's an offensive coordinator that wants to run the ball. It's a good game script this week against a really bad Cleveland team where hopefully they'll be playing from ahead, 5.5-point favorites here, I think, last I checked. And the only real concern here I have is just that Warren was injured in the week before the bye. Kenneth Gainwell played and looked really, really good. Is he going to start to take some work away from Jaylen Warren? I don't know. But this line is low enough where I'm willing to bet that, the guy who is the presumed bell cow here, this is too low of a number.
Yeah, and we're kind of embracing some of the variance here on hopefully he's able to maybe break one for 20 yards and you're already halfway there, something like that, because Jason is asking why yards over carries. This is one where we're looking to embrace a little bit more of that volatility.
Yeah, and a lot of times I will go with carries over yards. You can see there's still some value on it, but not as much. There's more, 3-star plays, 4-star plays mixed in here. So the edge is only about a carry and a half. So you can definitely bet the carries if you want instead. It was just that the yards were showing more value. So I wanted to take that one instead.
Yeah. And, that's 3. That's 3 different plays that we have on this particular game here, but we've obviously got some correlation here between Darnell Washington and Pat Freiermuth. A little bit baked in when you're adding in a run attack like this, but overall, still, we expect the Steelers to be ahead in this game. That the Browns' offense is a massive question mark with Dillon Gabriel. The defense is actually pretty good, probably a little underrated by the market right now, but we're hoping that this is going to be one of those situations where the Steelers are ahead and looking to run the football.
Yeah, that's the premise of this one, and I think we got a pretty good shot of that happening.
51.5 at +130 earlier in the week. In addition to the baseline, his projected delta is pretty high for a running back. Yeah,
nice.
And then just think Cleveland's run D isn't sustainable because that D is dominant against guys like Jacobs and Henry. I mean,
so for me, like that's part of the appeal here, I think, is that run defense is so noisy. Like, yeah, they're probably pretty good. Are they this elite? Almost definitely not. It's only been 5 weeks, and we know that this stuff is not sticky from week to week. So I'm expecting some regression in their defense. And, again, a line that low for a bell cow, even against a good defense, I'm okay taking.
Mm-hmm. And the screen, RJ saying the screen is lighting up off these releases. Yeah, but that's a good sign. It's unfortunate, it's inconvenient for us, but it also means that that the books are respecting are respecting the plays and respecting the action, which should tell you something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So if you're watching this on replay live and you're like, why aren't these lines there? It's because they're moving in real time.
Yep.
Try to watch us live whenever you can so that you can get the best lines.
Mm-hmm. Blitz nailed the Thursday night game except for dart props. I don't know. I seem to see a dart rushing prop that I feel like definitely hit.
Yeah, I took a dart under passing touchdowns, and he threw one. I took it at like big plus money, like plus 170 or something. Mm-hmm. And then the dart rushing, I don't think worked out very well, but otherwise it kind of did nail everything else in that game, which was nice.
Yeah. Oh, it was saying under 7.5 carries.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the TD. Oh, did you also have under TDs too?
Yeah.
Hey, coin flips happen. I had first TD. I was happy about that. But man, Scatabo with the 3 touchdown game. My fantasy team was not upset. I'll tell you that much. All right. Boglor, it's the moment you've been waiting for. We got Joe Flacco props. He's got a new team. It don't matter. He's still in orange. And we are looking at his passing attempts market because let me tell you, this is elder abuse putting this guy behind this offensive line, but they're going to have to throw the football a lot.
They're going to have to. So we're looking at over 35.5, minus 102 at FanDuel is our best number. They're going to be playing from behind against Green Bay. They're going to have to be throwing the ball to catch up. And we know that with Burrow, Cincinnati was the most pass-heavy team in football. Even with I've already forgotten his name. Jake Browning, that's the one. Even with Jake Browning, they were still passing a good amount. I would think with Flacco, they're going to go back to being even more pass-heavy, maybe closer to that Baker or to that Burrow level. And they're going to have to in this game also. So this one looks good. You can see the blitz is projecting about 38.5, about 3 over the line. So you can definitely find some value here.
This might be a little bit stale at FanDuel. Russian is saying it's not up at FanDuel at all, and I don't think they were that quick pulling it down.
It was definitely there like a half hour before the show. I went and double checked, but if it's not there, then we can take the DraftKings line. We can use that as our for the record.
Well, Chad is saying he sees it up on FanDuel, and
yeah,
all right, Russian. The Russian disinformation is out there. You got to watch out for it. All right. We got plenty of people. Yeah, we got plenty of people coming in to say, okay, we're good. We're good. Yeah, sure, Russian. Now it's up. Sure, man. All right, guys. Moving on here. We're talking about the staff daddy next, Matthew Stafford, because we already mentioned how much we like the passing unders in this game. No surprise. We're looking at his completions under here as well.
Yes, for all the reasons that I talked about with Devontae and with Puka, we're looking at Stafford under 23.5 completions, minus 108 at FanDuel is our best number. They're on the road. They're outside the dome. They should be leading by a lot. There's the potential for really bad weather here. I just don't think Stafford's going to have to throw enough to get to this number, and he's going to be less efficient given the game conditions.
Mm-hmm. Simple play on the weather here. Now, Derek, I'm going to skip ahead one and we'll come back to it because Seth just brought up a good point in the chat for our next play. Joe Flacco interceptions. We're looking at his over half an interception, but for him to throw 2 at plus 265, Seth is saying, what do you think about both of these markets? Obviously, we are looking at the one. What do you think about this one as well?
Yep, the 2 sounds good to me because the Joe Flacco over half an interception. Minus 150 is the best line. This was on our list. This is an official play. You can see the blitz is projecting 1.5 here. So even though you have to pay some juice for it, you are still getting good value. If you're getting the over 1.5 at a big plus number, you're going to be getting good value on that too, especially with how much they're going to have to throw.
Yeah. So there you have it, Seth. Good spot there, and way to read our minds because you knew what was coming up next with that Joe Flacco again for the show. Over half an interception, minus 152 are the odds that we have. But 2 at plus 265 looks pretty good to us. And now, Boglor, once again, the moment you've been waiting for. We got Geno Smith props, but oh man, this one's going to be sweaty, Derek. We're looking at his interception market. Where are we going?
We're looking at under half an interception for Geno. Plus 115 at DraftKings is our best line here. He has not been the same guy this year that the Blitz fell in love with a couple of years back. He's been great up until this year, and just kind of hoping that turns around, gets to play at home, gets to play in the Dome, gets to play against the Titans. Might even be playing from ahead in a game and won't have to throw the ball as much, which I know, not again, but I'm going back to it. You don't have to, but I still think the value is real here. So I'm okay to go back for one more time.
I mean, man, he really did just turn into a pumpkin when he came to Las Vegas. It's unbelievable how bad he's been. The unfortunate thing is you're not even really banking on a benching here to help you, because if he's getting benched, he definitely threw a pick.
Yeah, for sure. No, he's playing the whole game. We're just hoping that he plays the whole game and looks good, or at least his difficulties are masked by how bad Tennessee is.
Yep. We'll see. I know this is going to be one where we're talking about it on Twitter, or if you're watching along with us on End Zone Live this weekend, because, the whole crew, Prez, Carmine, Kelly, everybody on Wager Talk is going to be on End Zone Live at some point this weekend. I'll be on for the second half of the early slate games. It's a watch along. We're having fun. Prez is being an absolute psycho, sweating his bets, and you get to really enjoy that because it is fantastic television. I will tell you that much. And I'm sure this is one that we will be sweating out and talking about on there. So please come and roast me when Geno throws that pick, if he does, or we can just celebrate when he has a clean game here. Everyone glued to their TVs watching LV Tennessee. Yeah, we're going to single-handedly spike the Nielsen ratings on that one. All right, next up here, and this is the portion of the show where we go into our bouquet of interception props. We've got 2 more here, and one of them is Michael Penix under 0.5 interceptions here. How are you feeling about the Penix, Derek?
Yep, we are looking at Penix under half an interception. Plus 105 is our best number, but within 5 or 10 points just about everywhere, and showing good value there too. He's one we've done, I think, a couple of times this year. It's really just one of these volume probability plays. It projects as close to a coin flip, or actually no, better than coin flip. This is like a 60% one. We're getting it around even money, and so we bet enough of these over the year, and we come out ahead. He's facing this Buffalo team that is slow paced, so kind of a pace down spot for him. He's indoors. He's at home. It is what it is. You can see the projection is under half. So we are looking at some value.
Yep. And I mean, I feel a lot better taking this one than I do the Geno one. I'll tell you that much. This isn't nearly as much of a hold your nose kind of play. And the last one, I really like this one because Justin Fields does not throw the football, and you can't. No. The Jets are terrible, turbo mega ass, if I may, but they don't throw interceptions because they just don't throw the football.
Yeah, they are easily the most run-heavy team in the league this year. A bunch of their dropbacks turn into scrambles from Fields, so they become even more run-heavy.
Yeah.
Under half an interception, plus 104, almost the exact same projection, almost the exact same probability as the Penix one. It's going to be like a 60% play that we're getting around even money or a little worse, and it's going to be giving us some good value.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, we have the fact that a lot of his dropbacks turn into scrambles because he holds the ball too long, which is a lot better than just chucking it up into triple coverage. So we'll see if we can continue with that here. And now we've got a pair of we've got 1 touchdown prop here because we are waiting on that Jalen Coker news. But let's talk about this last one that we have. We got. Oh, I see what I did wrong here.
I'm going to let you say the name.
We got Kamire DK over 0.5 touchdowns.
Yes, we are looking at a touchdown for DK, I imagine is how you pronounce it, but I honestly have no idea. Plus 600, widely available, DK, FanDuel, ESPN, Bovada. Rookie wide receiver for the Titans this year. They have been giving him a lot of manufactured looks, scheming stuff up for him. He's been used in the red zone. He's been used on the ground. The Blitz sees this as about a 20% winner, and we're getting plus 600 on it. So, now that EVAnalytics has all of these touchdown lines up there, we were talking about it last week. We'll probably throw a touchdown prop or two onto the card every week to have some fun. For tracking purposes, we're not going to do a full unit on a touchdown. We'll do quarter units for all of our touchdown plays and to keep it consistent. And this is our first one. So I'll be excited to start rooting for some touchdowns.
Yeah, we're taking some long shots here and hoping that we can build something out. Now, Derek, as I'm sure you have probably figured out by this point in the program, I was looking at the old list that we had for these props. So we did miss a couple that we were doing.
Yeah, we did. I was gonna remind you, and we were gonna go back.
Yeah. So we are gonna circle back. Hashtag circle back here because we've got two more to get. I believe it's only two. I'm looking through the slate. It looks like that's the case. We got two more to talk about. So let's go to Alec Pierce receptions market here. You're looking at the 2.5.
Yes, we're looking at over 2.5 receptions for Alec Pierce. Plus 260 at ESPN is our best line. Love this game environment, indoors. He's back from the concussion now. He's been getting a good target share. They hyped him up all preseason. He's been playing well, getting 15% target share or so. And that could even go up because of the whole A.D. Mitchell thing where, he did the showboating and dropped the ball before the touchdown and barely played last week, only came in towards the end of the game. I'm pretty sure I saw a quote. They were asked if he was going to play this week, and they're like, "Well, we're still figuring that out. We'll see." So if we're lucky, it'll mean even more time for Alec Pierce, but he should be on the field a good amount. It's a pretty good matchup. We're getting a really good odds on it. So yeah, over 2.5 at plus 160.
Yep. And with the last one that we have here, Patrick Mahomes. We're going to his completions market, but we're not going to the over.
No, it is very rare that I will go to a Patrick Mahomes over. Mm-hmm. Star overs are what, casuals tend to like to bet, and unders on stars are usually where the value is if there's anything. So even though this has been moving up just about everywhere, we are looking at under these lines have, hold on, I didn't sort it. That's the problem. Yep. Under 24.5, I like better than the 25. Under 24.5 at minus 105 at ESPN and at Caesars. Mahomes is great. We know Mahomes is great. We know they want to pass the ball, but they're also facing Detroit, who is the slowest paced team in all of football. And so they will be trying to run. They will be trying to grind the clock. They will be dragging the play volume down for KC. And so just based on Mahomes and his name value and the game environment, I think we're getting getting offered some value on the under here. Yeah,
it's going to be, man, it's really scary against the Lions, but I get it. This is not the same Chiefs team that we've seen, although they might be starting to be back here.
Next week when Rashee Rice is back, it's going to be pretty exciting, I think, for them. But for now, we're still another week before he's back.
Yeah, my fantasy team is ready for Rashee Rice to come back to the fold. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and it does look like Xavier Worthy is actually truly questionable again. He popped up on the injury report. So if he's out, then we're really looking pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. A little bit concerning with some of the running back unders as well, but we're kind of also hoping for a slower pace.
Yes, slower pace in this one is expected, or at least a pace down spot for KC because Detroit plays so slow.
Mm-hmm. Really kind of surprising that Detroit like you would think Dan Campbell would also play fast.
Yeah, he wants to be aggressive, and no, he plays slow.
Yeah, it's just surprising, not what you would not at all what you would expect. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that's everything that we had on the board here. I'm just trying to double check.
Yep.
Yeah, we're looking good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you a quick recap. While I'm doing that, please throw your questions in the chat. We got another 20 minutes to hang out with you guys here. Let's make it count. If you have questions, if you have comments, concerns, what props do you want us to look at? Where do you want to go? Now is the chance. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Throw your questions in the chat. As you can tell, I'm trying to vamp to give you as much time as possible while I go through all of these plays. Let's recap them here, Derek. We've got Pat Freiermuth under 1.5 receptions at plus 150, best odds at ESPN. Darnell Washington over 1.5 receptions, also plus 150, best odds at the Profit X. Rashad White over 12.5 carries, minus 140, best odds at MGM. Brandon Cooks under 1.5 receptions, plus 135 at the 365. Devontae Adams under 4.5 receptions, plus 120 at the Lion or the Hard Rock. Rashad Smith under 1.5 receptions, plus 112 at Novig. Next up, we have Alec Pierce over 2.5 receptions, plus 160, best odds at ESPN. Jaylen Warren over 42.5 rushing yards, minus 111, best odds there at the 365. Joe Flacco under 23.5, over 35.5 pass attempts, minus 102 at FanDuel. Matthew Stafford under 23.5 completions, minus 108 at FanDuel. And Patrick Mahomes under 24.5 completions, minus 105 at Caesars or ESPN. Geno Smith under half an interception. Hold your nose embedded at plus 115 at DraftKings. We also have Joe Flacco over half an interception, minus 152 at FanDuel. Michael Penix under half an interception, plus 105 at BetRivers. Justin Fields under half an interception, plus 104 at BetRivers. And rounding it all out, we got Kamire DK over half a touchdown. We're taking a touchdown prop here, 6-1 at DK, ESPN, or FanDuel. Shop around, see if you can get a great price on those, but that's probably the best you're going to find in the market here. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here with us. Let's dive into some of your questions here, starting with What's the Mata, asking about Elik Ayamanor, looking at his receiving yards market here. He's been very exciting to watch. He's been a fun player.
He has been, and Tennessee is in a pretty good spot this week going into Las Vegas in a dome. Looks like a little bit of value here on the over. So over 29.5 is our number. The Blitz is projecting, when you account for range of outcomes, catching long passes and that kind of stuff, the implied projection is actually 37. So we're about 7 yards off of the line is essentially how to read this. So a little bit of value here, not crazy, but definitely there.
Yeah. Something that could be interesting in playing. Rob Scrivano wants to know any Cup or Lad over. Seems like they've been quiet so far. I mean, Cooper Kupp may be washed.
He might be. I mean, the Rams loved Cooper Kupp. Like the way they used to talk about Cooper Kupp, like it was like he was McVay's son. It's the way they talk about Kyron Williams now. They loved him, and they were just done with him. Like after last year, there was no way they were going to bring him back, which I think kind of spoke to what they thought about him and him potentially really just kind of being done. So definitely not overs on them. A little bit of value on some unders, but nothing crazy. And then who was the other one? Lad. I know that game projects as the slowest pace game of the entire week. So if anything, maybe a little bit of under, maybe a little bit of love on the unders.
Lad's been invisible so far this season.
I mean, Keenan Allen's on the team now. Keenan Allen is just so underrated. People always are like, oh, he's Keenan Allen. He's old. He's boring. No, he's going to go out there and he's going to out-target every single one of your young, exciting guys. And that's just what he does.
And QJ, Quentin Johnson, is actually playing well. He learned to catch.
Yeah.
Tyler Jackson wants to know any thoughts on Justin Fields' anytime touchdown. I mean, you might want to wait and in-game this in the fourth quarter when he turns into prime Cam Newton out there because, man, garbage time Jets are incredible.
Looks like at the moment there is no value on it. If there were unders offered, maybe there would be, but no value on the overs right now.
Mm-hmm. Richo Dude says it looks like most of my wins coming from overs this year. NFL secretly scripting stat heavy games. Defenses have been pretty bad this year.
Yeah, it's true.
Mm-hmm. Also, never mind. I was thinking, what do you think about the kickoff rules having any sort of implication on this?
Yeah, I mean, the field positioning is being impacted by it. So that definitely, it's something I want to look into and maybe try to account for a little bit. I think it's probably pretty marginal, but definitely, that kind of stuff definitely does matter.
I think it's going to matter more for some of these teams that have like figured out, because some teams are basically just saying kick it out of the end zone and give it to them at the 35. Other teams are saying give them the knuckleball that tries to land at like the 5-10 area and try and pin them deeper. Big, like that. I think that's, if you're going to find an edge, you're going to find an edge on comparing the teams that do that versus the teams that don't. As Seth says, apologies, but if the new kickoff rules reduced overall yardage, we are on the same. Seth and I are mind melding here today. All right. Alex wants to know why Krosky Merritt under carries wasn't a play. This was one that I was looking at and passed on when I was betting stuff earlier this week. Are you looking for 20% or more implied versus blitz value on carries markets? Talk to me about Krosky Merritt here.
So, to be honest, the real reason I didn't do it is because I think there's so much hype around him that his line's going to go up throughout the week, and I'll probably take it later at a better number, or at least that's what I'm hoping. I also do a show on Mondays where I need to come up with plays for the Monday games. So was theoretically trying to save it. Probably not going to happen anymore. But yeah, that is really why it wasn't a play. And also we can only pick so many. Like there are so many good plays out there every week. We're not giving them all away. There's always going to be plenty of good ones that we don't touch on.
Yeah, just because we don't talk about it on the show doesn't mean it's not a good play. Danny Diaz, what up, Danny? Good to see you again, man. He has a great question here because I was looking at both of these Patriots running backs. Yeah, it's not quite Bill Belichick's where you just good luck figuring out who the running back is this week. But man, the running back usage in New England has been very annoying, and the blitz projects unders for Ramondre and overs for Travion. And we keep waiting for this to happen where 8 or 9 more fumbles from Ramondre and we get to see Travion, right?
Yeah. At least Antonio Gibson is out this week, so it should mean more value or more volume overall for the Patriots running backs. You can see there is some value on Travion overs, especially if you have access to exchanges. Playing in New Orleans. So New Orleans plays faster than everybody else by a ton. So the blitz is seeing this game as the fastest pace, seeing Patriots, I think, running the most plays overall of any team this week. So definitely something that would support the over for a guy like Henderson.
I can say personally, I took this one. So I am certainly hoping for that. Lucino Castellano wants to know, any Rico Dowdle or Michael Carter unders? Michael Carter, man. Everybody, like,
you would think after last week that there would be like some significant Rico Dowdle under just as people overreact, but it looks like the value. Oh no, that's receiving. I need rushing. Yeah, it looks like the value is there, but not anything crazy. And it looks like it's not up at a lot of books yet. So, we'll see where it settles, but he is going to get a big workload. He is facing Dallas. You can see, even though this is a high line, the blitz is projecting 72 yards for him. So not a situation where I'm going to bet the over, but probably one I'm not going to bet the under on either. And then we can take a look at Michael Carter too. Very similar, where there's like some undervalue, but really not enough to warrant actually betting it, in my opinion.
Yeah, just nothing much there. I know that wasn't those weren't players I was particularly looking at. Cheeseburger Eddie, what up, Eddie? I used to have so much fun betting TDs, and he bet DeMercado last week, and now that is a fair most hated player.
I played Arizona in my Survivor last week, and that was 0% fun, let me tell you, because they were 99% to win at 2 separate points.
Pain.
Probably almost 100% if you actually like looked mid-play at like the win probability. Like as DeMercado's running towards the end zone, it has to be almost 100% chance that Arizona wins. When he throws the interception, it's probably almost 100% chance that Arizona wins. And then oh my God, it was so tilting.
That was absurd. I lost. I was out in Circus Survivor on the Green Bay Dallas tie, And I do that with two other people. And I was voted down. I was like, let's take Houston this week. And I got voted down. We took the Packers. And I was like, God damn it. Is what it is, though. James wants to know, Kareem Hunt carries under valid. What do we think there?
Yes, I gave this one out earlier in the week, actually. So I like this one. Didn't make the card today because I already did it. The line's been moving down, probably because I put it out, but definitely still some value on it. Under 8.5, -112 at FanDuel is going to be our best number right now. Pacheco played more than he has all season last week, which I think is interesting. Potentially could mean something for Hunt, potentially might not. But either way, we're looking at this KC game where they're going to be in a pretty close game against Detroit. They're not going to have as much opportunity to run the ball late in the game as they otherwise would. And we talked about the pace earlier where Detroit is really, really slowing things down.
Yeah. Danny Dobbins. Danny Diaz wants to know about J.K. Dobbins over 1.5 receptions at +160.
I know this one was showing some value. I was tempted to take it, but again, we can only do so much. It wasn't available too widely. But if you do have access to it, I do like this one. Dobbins has been out there on the field and even running routes in the pass game far more than his target share indicates. So I'm kind of hoping for some regression to come here. He's been out there. Let me take a quick look. Hold on. He only has a 5% target share this year, but he's been out there on a third of the dropbacks. He's been out there on 60% of the snaps. Harvey, who has close to a 10% target share, has been out there less than Dobbins has. They're not doing any kind of design manufactured stuff for Dobbins, but I don't know. I still think just the sheer fact that he's out there gives him a pretty good chance to go over this, and you're getting a big number on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they keep trying to. We keep waiting for RJ Harvey to happen, and J.K. Dobbins just keeps taking over that backfield with usage. Yes, he's not getting the same target share, but he's still out there so much more. You're completely right. Matt Budzinski. I had both fumbled TDs, and I'm a Jets fan. Oh, from one Jets fan to another, I feel your pain, Matt. Maybe one day before the heat death of the universe, we will actually have a above 500 season. That's the bar at this point. You have until the sun expands into a red giant and cooks the earth versus Jets finishing a season above 5, not even making the playoffs. Just give me 9. Just give me 9 and 8. That's what I want at this point. Life is constant. I came to and I'm completely wasting time here in case we get any more. Throw your plays in, guys. I'll ramble about this for 2 minutes while you throw any more plays that you want us to look at in here. I have come to the realization after last night, I am a fan of more players on the New York Giants than I am of players on the New York Jets, because we have Quinnen Williams, who after 7 seasons and 4 rebuilds has the life completely sucked out of his eyes. Like, you look at his famous sneeze, bless you, thank you video. He's got light in his eyes. He's got a smile on his face. And then you look at him answering questions before the media last week, and it's the saddest thing in the world. Like, you got him and you got Garrett Wilson, and pretty much everyone else on that team is just like, yeah. And then on the Giants, you have, first off, the greatest quarterback of all time in Jameis Winston, who, by the way, should have been traded to the Bengals. We as a society need Jameis throwing to that receiving core and breaking 10,000 yards, 100 touchdowns, 100 INTs in a season. And then you have human CTE, Cam Scatterboo, and Jackson Dart looks fun. It is really painful to be a Jets fan, and Giants actually being exciting really, really sucks. Richo, still holding my $200 Jet. You might want to cash that one out, buddy. $2,750 that's not enough.
If they win that in the year 2040, you don't get paid out. It's only good for this year.
I don't know. Those odds might just be next 20 years. Like, it's probably a fair price for that. Should have just PayPal'd the book $200. Oh, man. All right. We got a couple more here. Cheeseburger Eddie wants to know Danny Dimes rushing value this week.
I'm going to spell his name Daniel this time, because every week I type Danny.
Yeah, we got to retire Danny Dimes. It's Indiana Jones now.
Indiana Jones. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there is definitely some value on his rushing attempts over here. Yards probably more widely available. Actually, yeah, okay. Also some value on the over yards, not as good as the attempts, but definitely some value here. Over 15.5. It's not a big bar to clear for a guy who is, very capable with his legs. And the thing I like the most about it is that up until last week, they hadn't called a single designed run for him between the 20s. And last week they finally did. And so especially if we're talking about yardage, it's a lot easier to break off a 16-yard run when you're at midfield than when you're on the 10-yard line.
Yeah. All right. Garrett Price wants to know A-Chain under rush yards. How's this one been doing? I feel like this is one we talk about every week.
I don't know. I haven't taken him. I took the receptions last week and it didn't hit.
Oh yeah, that's what I feel like we take the receptions market for him every week, and then every week we're on here going,
so high. They said it's so high.
Yeah.
Not a lot of value on the rushing yards under. You can see there's, a little, but really not enough to want to take it.
Alex wants to know, before the show, I took Pierce receiving yards. It showed a couple % more value than receptions. If it's close, do you prefer the predictability? Yeah, generally we prefer the predictability of receptions and carries markets versus yards. There's just a little more variance because, you can't break a huge gain for 2 carries, but you can break a huge catch for 40 yards.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty much what Tom said, pretty much what Alex said here. If it's close, I tend to prefer the volume-based stats rather than the yardage ones.
Mm-hmm. All right, double whammy here. Lucino wants to know Derrick Henry unders, and James Rowe wants to know Derrick Henry overs. So let's just talk about Derrick Henry. How about that?
Let's take a look. All right. Wow. It is rare that we see value on Derrick Henry overs. It's because the team is bad now without Lamar, I guess. Yeah. Not going to have to do any kind of running, but it is good weather for running. It is still Baltimore. They do want to run the ball. It's just how effective can they be, running their play count up. A little bit of value. 3 stars is okay. Usually I'm looking for 4, but 3 is fine. So depends on what line you can get them at. If you can get them around here. Otherwise, I'm probably out.
Boglor has quadrupled up on Flacco props. You're a madman. Dylan wants to know
the attempts, the yards, the interceptions, probably the touchdowns.
Matthew Golden yards and Hunter Henry over receptions. Dylan's looking at.
Take a quick look at that.
And this will probably be our last one here as we are winding down. But thank you guys.
All right, Matthew Golden. If you can get this Bet365 line, it's a 4-star. It's not bad. Otherwise, it's more 2 and 3-star type lines. It's fine, but Golden is kind of just another cog in the Green Bay machine. Even though he's a first-round rookie, they spread the ball around. We never know where it's going to go. I really don't think he's anything special, and they are going to be playing from ahead here and probably not having to throw very much.
Mm-hmm. How about Hunter Henry?
Hunter Henry, we can look up real
quick.
What
team is Hunter Henry on now?
He's on the Patriots. I know it's a great game environment.
Yeah.
So let's see. I imagine the Blitz likes this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, not as much as I would think. I guess though it's because you're getting minus 125 or minus 130 on it. Usually this type of guy, I expect, we're getting plus 120 or plus 130 on the line, and we don't here. So that's going to be why the Blitz doesn't like it as much. Mm-hmm. You can see the Blitz projecting 4.1. So I don't know if there's alts, if there's an alt 4.5 at 200 plus 200 or something, maybe you're getting value, but otherwise it looks like not much.
Mm-hmm. Bogler says he loves having a full unit on elite QBs. Seth's got action on Flacco 250 plus and Jamar Chase anytime. The Steelers' defense isn't great. We'll see. If he can survive long enough behind that offensive line. All right, last question. Well, we got 2 questions here because I see one that we definitely have to answer. It's too important not to. But Danny Diaz wants to know about Cooper Rush passing touchdowns.
Yep, this one definitely showing value. You can get plus 210 on it right now. So definitely one that's showing value. I think we did this one last week. I think it hit, if I'm remembering right, and looks like good value again.
All right, final question here coming from Rich. Why do we call them stars when they're very obviously plus shaped? I was just thinking the same thing.
That is a good question because I'm just used to rating systems being done in stars. But yeah, they're pluses and minuses to indicate value. So I should probably change how I say that.
I don't know. 5+ doesn't sound as good as 5-star. I think we can keep it. Maybe you need to go into the back end and change them to stars.
Yeah, maybe.
That seems like an efficient use of your time.
Of course. I mean, why would I want to work on upgrades or anything else when?
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here with us as always. We really appreciate y'all. Don't forget, hit that like button before you leave, please. You guys make the show. The comments, the questions, you guys keep us going. We were done after half an hour. We spent a whole other half hour just answering your questions, answering your plays. And you guys give us great content each and every week. Seriously, it's so great seeing so many familiar faces. We absolutely love having y'all in here with us each and every week. As always, we wish you the best of luck. We want to remind you, you can look in the description of this video. Derek's master spreadsheet is in there so that you can track all of his plays as well. You can, of course, check him out on X at Derek Carty, and you can go to EVAnalytics.com. And don't forget, stick around here on Wager Talk as well. We have a whole bunch of great stuff for you, especially this weekend. We've got Last Call on Saturday and Sunday mornings to get you ready for the day. We've got End Zone Live on Sundays talking about the NFL slate, live sweating along with us. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you're not already. And we've got Joe Madden on Mondays and Thursdays. She's getting you ready for the primetime games with a primetime preview an hour before the games. We'll be on at 3 p.m. Pacific time this week for the doubleheader there. Seriously, thank you all so much for being in the chat. Thank you for being here with us each and every week. We love you all. Can't wait to see you again next week. Same time, same place for week 7. Let's have a great one. Let's cash some tickets. Let's make some money this weekend. Thank y'all. We'll see you next week.